Accounting is for compliance. Welcome back to Brilliant Fools. My name is Adam Green, and today on this 30,000 foot Thursday, we're going to take a look at that big idea that accounting is just the thing you got to do in order to stay compliant. I talk to small business owners all the time, and they are just trying to get this thing done, this bookkeeping, this accounting, whatever. Just let me just get it done. It's kind of like the last thing I have to do that's on my plate so that once I'm done, I can get back to work. Okay. There's some truth to that. There is some truth to that. In fact, it's even biblical in some ways. If we look at Romans 13, 1 through 3, it says, "Let every person be subject to the governing authorities. For there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment." Okay. And then, "For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good, and you will receive his approval." If you want to test this, just take your favorite illicit substance and go to some state where it's illegal. And then when the cop asks you, "What are you doing with that?" just blow a fat cloud in his face and slap him and see what happens. You didn't think you were going to get talk about that today, did you, when we were talking about accounting? But honestly, I mean, something like that is what we're talking about as far as, do we want good from authority? Why are we resisting it? Why are we trying to fight it? Why are we being belligerent when it comes to authority? Yeah, then we'll get consequences. We'll get harm if we're trying to skirt it. Same thing with the accounting. If we're careless with it, if we try to play with the numbers, play fast and loose with it because it's going to help us out on taxes or something like that, well, when that tax bill comes, we're going to have an issue with it. It's just going to be a problem. But if you want to be or have good relationships with authority and not have trouble, not have issues, then you stay compliant and you do good things and you do what's right. Even when it comes to the numbers, when it comes to accounting, that's great. That's wonderful. And we should be compliant. But if we stop there, if you're using accounting only for compliance, then you're missing out on so much. What separates the small guys that have just enough revenue to get by, are working themselves to death, are cranking their wheels over and over, just spinning their wheels over and over again? What is cranking? Okay, I don't know. Maybe I missed that metaphor somewhere. It doesn't matter. So if they're just spinning their wheels over and over again, every day, day in, day out, and working well into the night, just trying to stay compliant and keep up with everything that's going on in their business, what separates those guys from the guys who are building a business and not just a job that they have to work all the time? What is the difference there? I think it's in the way, or one of the big differences is in the way that they handle this thing called accounting and these things called financial reports. Maybe even these things called taxes. Once you get to a certain point and you can use the tax law to your favor, I want to say that very carefully there, to get the best benefit that you can. It's so complicated that when you're small, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. But when you get bigger, you could start to make decisions on it. And the difference is bigger guys and those that have less stress and are building a business and helping people out, they know that good reports are tools. They are tools in the hands of a good owner. They know there's a reason they're called management reports, because they help you manage the company. They're tools for knowledge, knowing what's going on inside your business. That's good. They're tools for strategies, being able to develop strategies based on what the numbers are telling you. They're tools for decision making and shifting when you need to shift. They're tools for tracking what's going on and how it's happening. Without them, it's like throwing a sail up on your sailboat, which is good. At least you're not standing still anymore, and that's good. And having a business where I'm doing all the work, at least I'm starting to move and my sail is up. But if it's just sitting there, then I'm just kind of being pushed wherever the wind goes. And if that sail can't even rotate or anything, then I'm just going to, wherever the wind takes me, that's where I'm going to go. It's kind of like Ephesians 4:14 says, as a result, we are no longer to be children, tossed here and there by waves and carried about by every wind of doctrine, by the trickery of men, by craftiness in deceitful scheming. So there's deceitful scheming by others that can affect us when we don't know what's going on well enough. There's also deceitful scheming by ourselves. I can scheme myself into things because I don't know what the actual numbers are telling me. This actually can happen at a very large level as well. And you see it in, say, corporate advertising. You see corporate advertising, they kind of deceive themselves into thinking, oh, this is the way I should go, because they're not looking at the hard numbers of what's occurring when they're pushing these advertisements. Otherwise, they would shift and they would change things. So when I'm setting my movable sail, I'm just kind of hoping for the best wherever the wind is taking me. But that's not the way that I should be. And biblically, that's not the way that I should be. That's an immature way to look at it. Look at James 3:4. Okay, and James here is talking about the tongue, the power of the tongue, the power of our words, what we say, what we tell ourselves. For instance, if I tell myself, gosh, that accounting is just that thing I've got to get done. I wish I could get it off my plate so I can get back to work. Take ships as an example, James says. Although they are so large and driven by strong winds, they're steered by a very small rudder wherever the pilot wants to go. See, sailboats, they have at least three things that really make them work well. They have the sail, which is moving versus the wind. They have rudders, but they also have a keel that helps to keep them stabilized as well. All of these things come into play when you look at your financial reports in this way. And it sounds kind of boring. It's, financial reports, what is... But once you start to understand how to read them, once you get with someone who knows what they're doing with the financial reports, it can help you see what's going on. Then you can start to make the decisions that you need. See, the sail itself it's more like an airplane wing when it's used properly than it is just a big sheet that's being pushed and pushing the boat forward. It actually creates lift as the wind moves past it and it drives through the ocean. It can get faster and faster. Would you like more momentum with less effort in your business? Understand what's going on in your business and how to use it. And that's great. That's great. But if you are using your sail correctly, you're shifting it, you're turning it depending on where the wind is blowing. So in a sailboat, if you notice that the sail isn't always necessarily going directly against the wind, it's not going directly with the wind. It depends on what kind of speed that person wants, what direction they want to be going, and where the wind is blowing, and then it can generate more lift and more directional force and momentum forward. And then you have the keel, and the keel is essentially it's on the underside of the boat, and it's that fin more or less on the underside of the boat. Stiff, it's just stuck there. So you've got your underside, you've got a fin underneath it, and that fin underneath is the keel, and it does two things. It keeps the boat stable, so it keeps it from being tossed to and fro, going all over the place everywhere. It actually keeps it staying where it needs to go. And then it also generates some lift as well and helps the boat to move forward even faster. Those financial reports are kind of like the keel as well. And I could throw one or another for each one of these functions. You could have your profit and loss is kind of like your sale. So it helps you understand where you are and keep moving faster. Although I would think cash flow may be a better analogy there. But then your balance sheet is like the keel, so you understand your position, where you are, and you can stabilize that way. But then you have the rudder. Massive ships can have a small rudder and be directed wherever they want to go. So your rudder is that thing that sticks down in the boat, is movable, and when you turn the wheel, it turns back and forth, and it directs the ship where you want it to go. Is that what you want for your business, or do you want to just kind of be tossed about wherever the wind is going to take it? because understanding what your financial reports are saying, and the analogy there would just be all of them, that's like having a good rudder and you being the captain on the steering wheel, directing the ship where you want it to go. Maybe this has been a little more preachy today, and that's fine. I mean, some days are going to be like that, but I truly believe in the power of understanding financial statements. And I don't think it can be understated how important it is to have this knowledge, not just the knowledge, but then go make decisions based on it and have wisdom. Because remember, wisdom is the skillful application of knowledge. And that's where I think so many, I don't think so many, I've seen so many small businesses get in trouble because they're just, in their minds, they're just trying to stay afloat. But really what's happening is they don't understand the power of the other things on the boat. They've set their sail. That's great. You're getting going. You should do that. That's awesome. But they're not even at the steering wheel. They don't understand there's a rudder. They don't even understand that how the sail works so they can make decisions and adjust to be able to move through this ocean of life as they're trying to build their business. I don't want that to happen to you. So if there's anything I can do to help you out with that, please get in touch with me. I would love to hear from you. And then, you know what? Leave a comment. Let me know. What do you think about this? Do you think I'm full of it? Do you think it's trash? Am I blowing smoke in your face? You know, what's going on here? But otherwise, hopefully this has been helpful. And until next time, thanks.